had a wonderful Ramadan and Eid, and inshallah, soon Eid al-Adha is coming, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also bless you guys in the first 10 days of the Hajj as well. So with that being said, I'd like to continue on the series that I'm doing, which is small proofs of Islam, right? So miniature proofs. And so to start off, I'd like to discuss something that I think we all know intrinsically, but we don't really think about maybe too much, is that subhanAllah, when we look at beautiful things in the world, they come in two varieties. There are things that are beautiful that come in a natural form, things that come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can imagine the sunrise, right, which inshallah we'll be able to see soon. The sunset, a beautiful mountain, the sound of waves crashing on the shore, right? All of these things that we imagine as beautiful that are found in nature, they have a certain quality to them that distinguish them from beautiful things that are man-made, right? What we call art, right? And art can be beautiful as well, right? Now, setting aside, discussions of halal and haram, even the forms of art that we should not, indulge in themselves, they have a certain beauty to it, which makes it enticing. But with that being said, right, there's one unique quality that the first category has that the second category does not have. And that is that beautiful things in nature never go dull. You never get tired of them, right? Imagine how common, let's take for example the sunset. It is daily, every day we can go and watch the sunset. It is something that is everywhere, right? You don't have to be in a special place to go see the sunset. It's beautiful every time, right? I've never looked at the sunset and been bored. It's always been a beautiful thing to watch. And so what does this have to do with Islam? Well, things that come from human beings get tiring, right? Anybody that's, for example, listen to music or seen a certain painting, you get tired over time, right? You can't indulge in man-made art, right, or man-made beauty for very long without it becoming dull and losing its luster. And so subhanallah, isn't it amazing that as Muslims we recite Surah Al-Fatiha 17 times a day and it never gets tiring? Subhanallah, we just finished Surah Al-Fajr, and obviously we heard Surah Al-Fatiha 2 times, and I'm speaking for myself, first and foremost. I've heard Surah Al-Fatiha since as far back as I can remember, and still it doesn't lose any of its beauty. The Quran in general, but specifically because Fatiha is a requirement for every rak'ah. Imagine 17 times a day we are reciting for the rest of our lives. I thought about this during Ramadan. In Ramadan, for example, many people will pray 20 rak'ah of Taraweeh. So imagine that's 20 rak'ah plus 17, that's 37 rak'ah. Plus, if they do witr, if you're gonna do all 20, you might as well do 3 rak'ah of witr. So it's 30 rak'at of prayer, and in each one you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and not a single time are you feeling bored or tired of listening to it. And this is not to discuss the meaning of Fatiha. This is a story I like to share. When I was in university here at the local college, we had a halaqah, and we had a chaplain, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him, and we covered Surah Al-Fatiha. And I thought that we were going to cover Surah Al-Fatiha in 1 quarter, so 10 weeks. We ended up covering Surah Al-Fatiha over the course of the entire year. It took a little less than 30 weeks of one to 2 hour discussions to get through all of Surah Al-Fatiha, just in-depth tafsir. I mean, so we're not even discussing the meanings and the depth of the surah. Just in terms of its, just hearing it, it has a quality that no other speech that comes out of a man's mouth has. Nothing, right? Because anything aside from Quran is just, just human-made stuff, right? Nothing else a person could say or recite will have the longevity of beauty of Fatiha. And it doesn't matter if it's you reciting, if it's the local imam at the masjid, if you travel and you go to another masjid, it's always beautiful. It always sounds nice, and it just resonates with the heart. And that's something that is common with all things that come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and nothing that comes from human beings has that quality. And so this is, I think, a small proof. I think it's a very powerful proof, but I think it's small in terms of its subtleness, that proves that this Quran is from Allah Azza wa Jal. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the Quran the joy of our hearts, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us success in this life and the next. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.